for agreeing to talk to us here on TV3 Ghana tonight. So, one of the major considerations in every engagement for mining is consultation. I mean, we've had the chiefs in the Winneba area come to address the press that they weren't consulted even before the finance minister announced this lithium mining in Parliament in the budget. Has the process integrity really been exhibited in this lithium deal since the beginning?
Well, I don't know what you mean with the use of the word integrity, but I would say that the nation has been taken by surprise, because we know we were told, we were informed of the discovery of lithium and so on and so forth. But really, beyond that, the process of engagement, we don't know whether there was any public bidding. I didn't come across any such thing. There's a lot we don't know, and then suddenly we were presented with a signed, sealed, delivered, and stamped document purporting to bind Ghana in an agreement, a public agreement. This, by definition of our constitution, is a public agreement, because every mineral that is in, beneath the land, the sea, in the economic zone, exclusive economic zone, in our continental shelf, belongs to the government. It's not only the land, the waters, whatever is there belongs to the people of Ghana. So if you're contracting for it, the public should know as much as possible what is going on. So in terms of, I normally, integrity means that there has to be something transparent. Yes, there should have been process integrity. The best practices should have been before this, the community engagements should have taken place. The social and public engagements, stakeholder engagements should have taken place. Maybe they define stakeholder in a different sort of way, but there are certain best practices that need to be followed, so that by the time you're signing the agreement, even certainly the member of parliament in that area must know the terms of it. And the people who matter must know the terms of what's contained here, not what you will tell them verbally. Yes, information to the public. We can participate and we can appreciate only if there is sufficient information upfront, not ex post facto.
Well, so you agree with not just civil society, but the larger Ghanaian populace, members of parliament, and even the chiefs and people in these areas that the lithium has been discovered, that there's very little transparency and little information about this lithium deal and the engagement that government has been having with the company in question, and then also other interests so far?
I think so. Yes, I believe so. In the terms of this agreement, before it was signed. Well, now we know it's a public document. Anybody who wants access to it, I suppose, can apply for a copy from, I guess, from the stamp office or from the commission.
And we've seen it exhibited a number of times, that government has this penchant of hiding things from the people. in order to pursue its own selfish interests. And then after everything is said and done, they tell the people what they think the people should know. Is that what's happening?
Why are you asking me? Nobody came to reveal anything. I'm talking as a member of the public, that they should have told us more about it. They should have even given us some idea what the format, the structure, the morphology of the agreement was going to be. Because at the end of the day, you're calling it a mining lease agreement. You're calling it a lease, but basically it's not much different from all these concessions that we've been lumped with since the time of Gajisberg.
But what, in your view, can Parliament do to ensure that Ghanaians are not shortchanged in this lithium deal and our interests as Ghanaians are upheld over and above any political or selfish interest of government?
But who's the government? It should have been to the advantage of the people of Ghana, isn't it? Yes. There is that penchant, and part of it is even because of the system, the governance system, and unfortunately, which seems to have been encouraging silos. You know, you're going this way, I am going this way, he's going this way, she's going this way, and we're all going in the same direction, but we're barely talking to each other until, so everybody's going in a separate car, and then we meet at the final destination. Okay, I didn't know you were also coming here, really. Because there's that penchant, which also even exacerbates the matter, and that's such poor management method. And in the end, what is governance other than management? It's either good management or bad management. And bad management is what? Keep them in the dark, feed them rubbish, and give them fait accompli. This is it, take it or leave it. And there's been too much of that. And so this morning's press conference was really simply to tell Parliament, we are looking. Take a look at this document and do your job.
What can Parliament do with this?
Ratify or not ratify? Because Parliament, the Constitution requires that an agreement of this type must be ratified. Is subject, let me put it that way, is subject to ratification by Parliament. 2, even the Minerals and Mining Act also makes it quite clear that this sort of agreement has to be ratified by Parliament. In the document itself, Clause 1E makes it very clear that, you want me to read it? This mining lease is subject to ratification by Parliament in accordance with Article 2681 of the Constitution and Section 5(4) of Act 703. That's the Minerals and Mining Act. Yeah. So I think that before, it's an agreement, but it's not an agreement which is ready for implementation, because there is a final act required on it before it can be activated, before it becomes effective. Yes. So until Parliament ratifies it, it is of no effect. And if Parliament does not ratify it, then it is no, it's of no effect. It does not bind the nation. To bind the Republic of Ghana, it has to be ratified by the body that represents the people of Ghana. That's Parliament. Yes.
But you asked that the people should demand accountability, that media should demand accountability as well. But you can keep asking the questions, and government decides whether or not to answer the questions, or they decide what they think you should know. From where you sit, has government been accountable to the people as expected?
See, everybody purporting to represent you is accountable to you. I think that's all I can say. So if they have, if I'm not going to say whether they've been accountable or not. All I'm saying is that anybody, everybody who is supposed to be representing you, Parliament, your member of Parliament, the government, because we voted in the government, we made them. So that also, the ministers, they're all accountable. They're all accountable. Why is it that the directive principles of state policy require accountability from every Ghanaian, indeed, not even just public officers or public activity, but accountability. And you can only be accountable if you are transparent. And that's why processes, and that's where we come to that thing of process integrity, because it also means that you have the policy and then you have the procedure guidelines. The policy that the Constitution gives is very broad. The land is yours, it's ours, it's for the people of Ghana. It is held in trust by the President on our behalf. Okay, now whenever the word trust comes up, what does it mean? It also connotes accountability. Not only does it connote accountability, but the word trust requires optimal fidelity to whoever it is you are holding in trust for, the beneficiary. And we are the beneficiaries. So we should be asking more questions. You know, bad habits become habits. It starts with this neglect here, forgetting here, leaving it out here, and then it becomes a habit. And if you don't watch out, you reach the point where you, the person to whom it's owed, begin to think that the little crumbs you're getting are favors. But it's not like that. Maybe me, I insist on almost absolute standards. You know, but that's because I think when it gets to governance, we are in the realm of having the right to expect excellence. Because you're representing me, you have to be truthful to me. You have to, whether you tell me or not, you have to represent my best interests. And it has to be demonstrable. Now, if it was demonstrable, why didn't you tell me before? Why did you go and tie me up and then you come and tell me this is the agreement I have gone and signed for you? They might argue that blah, 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 there was a confidentiality agreement. The confidentiality is that you do not, you're a country, you own the resource. The land is yours, what's underneath it is yours. Somebody wants to extract it. Where's the secret? What secret do you owe the person? So if Parliament doesn't ratify, does that expose the country to the risk of yet another judgment debt? And I will say that in all honesty, my understanding of the legal meaning and implication and import of ratify, subject to ratification, is that your document is a piece of paper with ink on it and your signature on it. That's all it is until that ratification takes place. It does not have legal effect. That is how I see it.
It's interesting that you make the point about the fidelity, that word that you use. Has government shown fidelity to the people, the element of trust in there?
If you cannot see, there are certain indices. Is it transparent? Is it, have they done the has the accountability aspect also been taken care of? In fact, anything that is not transparent lacks accountability. I mean, yeah. You can't say somebody has been accountable if they have not been transparent with you. Because how would you know that this person holding this thing for me has been accountable when the person has not even talked to me about the scope and magnitude of what they are holding for me? So yes, and then that is corruption, because corruption means process was not due. The due process, the thing lacks transparency, there's opacity, there is, the person has not positioned themselves properly to be able to fully account to you. Yes.
And you cannot rule out, as some have suggested, the selfish interest of the few at the expense of the larger Ghanaian people, that the people who might probably be leading these engagements and the deals for this lithium mining are also, based on some civil society organizations' suspicion, pursuing their own selfish interest.
Yes, that's why in the press statement the IEA said that Parliament should exercise caution and patience so as to secure a modern, best practice-based arrangement that will guarantee maximum benefit for the people of the Republic of Ghana, instead of the usual colonial type lease that benefits foreign companies masquerading as investors and their local cohorts. Well, cohorts, you can read everything into cohorts as you want. Yes, people are, undue benefits must be floating around somewhere. That's why somebody will find this a perfect, wonderful, what did they say? It's the best.
Yes, that's what they give back.
Yeah, they said it's favorable to Ghana and surpasses those of other lithium leases around the world. Well, maybe leases, but there are all kinds of lithium extraction formats which are much better. Lease is not necessarily the best methodology. There are so many other methodologies. There's joint venture. There's service contract. Of even the service contracts of many, 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 many different permutations. If you like, I can later on send you write-ups on what other lithium countries are doing. Yes.
Well, so you disagree with the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources and the President making the point that this deal is the best deal for Ghana?
It's not the best. It's like percentages. What's the base figure? If you're from some super miserable formulation, to this, then you will say that's the best Ghana has had. Yeah, maybe it is, but it's not the best Ghana could have had. It's relative, isn't it? Yes. And I always say that pretty good is not good enough for Ghana. The best, optimal, excellent. That's what Ghana deserves.
Well, finally, before we go, there's a quote from Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, that you reference a number of times. I want us to read that and how that describes the situation that we're faced with in Ghana.
President Kagame said, if the owners of natural resources go around begging, then you should know there's something wrong with their minds. Don't ask me what he means. Go and ask Paul Kagame. But there's something wrong. I would easily stop at wrong. There's everything wrong with it. Because why should you? You have so much. I mean, here we went pathetically to IMF the 17th time. And